Hello everyone, this is Mayank and welcome back to my channel. So today we'll discuss about one particular sector which there is a chance that in the short to midterm there won't be much profit in this particular sector. The sector is good. There are a couple of stocks in this sector which are very good. They have done very good return in the past and they will keep giving a good compounding effect in the future also. But the context of the video is that we should stay away from this sector for short to midterm. When I say midterm, I mean at least 2 to 3 quarters for sure. So we'll discuss thus about the sector and the reason behind why I'm saying that we should stay away from the sector. What are the factors that are governing this particular discussion of mine? So we'll go in detail. We'll talk about it. But before we move further, first thing is that this is my personal opinion. You make your own research and then you take your decision. And second thing is that if you're new to the channel, if you're not subscribed to the channel, if you find the content helpful, please do subscribe, hit that bell icon, and also like the videos if you think this add value to your overall investing. So let's go further. So the sector which I'm going to talk about are FMCG. So FMCG means fast moving consumer goods. So when we say fast moving consumer goods, what are those? So there are a lot of goods like capital goods. So if your AC, if the fridge, there are milk, there is your toothbrush, there is your blankets, for example. So out of which not everything is FMCG. Your refrigerator is not FMCG. So what is FMCG? If you say milk, milk falls under that category. Chocolates, your drinks, health drinks, your see Coke and all falls in the category of FMCG. Your toilet papers, your toothbrush, they are FMCG. So it's a fast moving consumer goods. So when I say fast moving consumer goods, that means they get sold off the shelf and they are replenishable. So you need to replenish them in your inventory. Suppose you buy a toilet tissue paper, then you need to buy a new one after a few days when it gets over. Suppose you buy a chocolate, the moment you eat it, you need to buy a next one if you want to eat it more. So that's why they're called fast moving consumer goods because the replacement cycle is very fast. So there are a lot of companies which work in this sector in India. Few of them are very known. For example, HUL Hindustan Unilever Limited, Nestle, Bajaj Consumer Care, Tata Consumer Products Limited, and there are few more like Godrej Consumer Care, Tasty Bites, and then you have uh, so other lot of other brands also there. You can search, you can go around local brands, international brands, big brands. There are a lot of brands in this sector. So these are the few examples of that. Now going further, we'll see what is the growth of this FMCG sector. So in India, FMCG industry grew by 36.9% second quarter of 2021 compared to 2020. So this is a tremendous growth. This happened because of the rural consumption increased and people started working from home. So disposable income increased and people started spending more money on branded products. So two reasons together give this rise of 36.9% in the second quarter of 2021. Going forward, FMCG market in India expected to increase at a CAGR of 14.9% to reach $220 billion by 2025. And we are already in the start of 2022. So 4 more years and the overall market size is $222 billion. That means in 2020 it was $110 billion. By 2025 it will become $220. So in the span of 5 years, overall market size is about double. Then if everything is so good, why I'm saying that you stay away from this sector from the midterm? Because if you see this number says the video which I'm making doesn't make sense. But stay with me. I'll give you all the reasons why I am of the opinion that I'll not touch this sector for next at least for 6 to 9 months for sure. So these are my reasons. The problems in the FMCG sector. First is rise in inflation. So as per RBI, the inflation was supposed to be 4.5 in this financial year 2022, but due to this Ukraine-Russia war and increasing fuel crude oil prices, RBI has given notification that inflation might touch up to 6% in this financial year. So inflation is going to be around 6%. Second reason is the interest rates on FD. As of now, the interest rates on FD are around 4 to 5%. Sorry, interest rates in FD are around 2.5 to 5%. So this is less than inflation rate. That means your money is getting deflationary. So basically, the price at what you can buy something today, for that you have to pay 6% extra, but your savings, the interest on your savings is not increased by that margin. That means you cannot buy the product. For example, 100 rupees right now, the product what you can buy with 100 rupees, if you save the 100 rupees, next year if you want to buy the same product, the price of that product will become 106, but you will have less than 106. That means you will have 102.5 to 105. This is FT rates. So you cannot buy that product. That means the value of your money has reduced. Other thing is average salary hike in India is around 4 to 5%. We will not discuss about some people like people in blockchain developers or people who are into some kind of business where the hikes are huge, where they're making good money. So for them, it's very easy. You're talking about in general population of India where the salary hike is around 4 to 5%. So when your salary hike is 4 to 5%, inflation is beyond that. That means again the same thing. Your value of your money decreases, and you cannot afford the same product after 1 year which you can afford now. So these are the prime reasons why the rising inflation will impact FMCG sector. Just to give an example, suppose your family expense right now of all the FMCG products. Suppose you buy Maggi noodles, you buy ketchups, you buy your eatables like rice, then wheat, or then you buy oil. So together you spend around 4,000, 5,000, around 5,000 a month in your family, for example. So right now today you spend 5,000, you're good to go. After 1 year, you will spend 6% on top of that. You need to spend to buy exact same amount of thing, but your salary will reduce, will not touch that level. For example, 6% is the interest rate, for example, then you will spend around 6% on top of 5,000. So that comes around 300 rupees. So you'll spend 5,300 rupees you need to spend, but a salary hike is around 5,200 rupees. So that 100 rupees is the shortage. So whatever you could buy, you cannot buy that if you buy 100 rupees less worth of products. So this is called inflation, and that 100 rupees shortage will impact the FMCG sector. That means the sales of the companies will reduce by 100% for one person. And like you, there are millions of people in India, billions of people in India. So overall, the sector will be impacted because of inflation. And now overall, this leads to decreasing discretionary expenses. So out of the product which I give you example, rice, wheat, oil, noodles, ketchups, out of all these, few things are very mandatory and few things are discretionary. For example, ketchup is discretionary expense. It's not a mandatory. You need to eat ketchup, not required. You don't need to eat noodles, also not required. But you have to eat salt, you have to have chapati, you have to have rice, you have to have dal. At least few things you need to have. So you will not spend money on discretionary expenses. So the company which works on that sector, the company which are product in that sector, those companies will get impacted. So this is the reason why discretionary expenses will reduce. Second thing, the increasing crude oil prices. So first, previous to this, we discussed about how consumer will get impacted because of inflation. Now we'll discuss how companies get impacted because of increasing crude oil prices. So a company which produces the FMCG product, they have to manufacture, they have to transport, they have to source the raw material, and they have to package it, and overall they have to make it at a cost price, and then they have to sell it as a selling price. So the cost price will be impacted because of crude oil price increase. So the increase in machinery operating cost will increase because machine will eat more. The fuel which needs for the machine will need to pay more for that same quantity of fuel. So the machinery operating cost increases. Second, transportation cost. Your after manufacturing the product, you need to ship the product from one place to other place. Whatever mode you choose, but you need to transport it from one part of the country to other part of the country or other town. So that is transportation cost will increase again because crude oil prices increased and fuel prices will increase basically. Raw material shipping cost. So the price at which this companies procure raw material, that will also increase because the company which is selling the raw material will charge more because of shipping cost, or that company will not recover money, they will go into losses. Considering the increase the price, you will have to pay more for raw material procurement shipping cost. Then overall this will increase the lead in production cost. For example, the things for which you need to spend 100 rupees, for the same you need to spend 102 rupees. So your 2 rupees is the increment in production cost. So when this happens, you need to either sell it at higher price, or you need to sell more quantity. So there are two things only: either you sell more or sell at higher prices if your production cost has increased. Let's see whether you can do that or not. Now first, before that, we'll see from example point of view. Let's suppose Surf Excel is an example for us. So previously, in the present scenario right now, the cost price of Surf Excel 100 rupees. I'm assuming that, okay, that's not exact actual price. Let's suppose cost price 100 rupees, selling price is 110 rupees, profit comes as 10 rupees, quantity sold is 1000. So profit made is 10 rupees into 1000, so profit is 10,000. Okay, this present scenario. Let's go to future scenario. What will happen? Cost price becomes 102 because you spent more money on the manufacturing process, so cost price becomes 102. Selling price remains same, so your profit reduces by rupees 2. Your profit is 8 rupees, and total overall, if you see, if you sell the same quantity, your profit reduces by 8,000 rupees. You lose 2,000 rupees, on a quantity of 10,000 surf excels. So this is how the future pans out if the company doesn't increase their price. Now let's see how it works for a company. So profit, as we all know, is selling price minus cost price, right? So if a company sells surf excel 100 rupees and they invest 90 rupees on manufacturing, the 10 rupees is the profit. Now, so option one, how the company can make profit. Option one, either they increase the selling price. So instead of 110, they make it to 112, or the volume increase. So first option is either increase the selling price, volume remains same. For example, 100, they are selling 10,000 quantity. So they increase the selling price to mitigate the cost of production. So in that way, they will make money. Or second option is that either they keep the selling price as same and increase the volume. So this is the second option. But can they do this or not? Can they choose either of the options? We'll see now. So what are the possibilities? First possibility is that due to inflation, lack of increase in sales. Remember when you talk about that, due to inflation, the discretionary expenses will reduce. Now, since inflation is going to happen, it's already on the card. It's happening basically. The sales will not increase majorly. So people will have less money, the purchasing power will reduce, and because of which they will not buy more product. So that is out of the equation. What else can happen? They can increase the price. Now they cannot increase the price because last quarter only they increase the price. Every now and then they cannot. And if they do, the sales will further reduce. Why? Because simple concept that I told you before. If I have 100 rupees to spend, the product price become 102. I cannot buy that 2 rupees extra thing. So the company will lose in sales. So both are not happening. They cannot increase the price because inflation, people will not buy. Okay, and if they increase the price, the volume will reduce, so people will not buy again. So eventually both the situations are bad for the company. They cannot do either of the things. Option one is also null and void. Option two is also null and void. Because of which, what happens? Price also remains same because they cannot increase the price. If they increase the price, sales will not happen, the numbers will go down. So they cannot increase the price remains same. Because of inflation, volume also remains same at best. Even if you don't increase the price, there is a chance that volume also reduces. So that's a contraction. What best case scenario is that price remains same and your volume also remains same, nothing changes. But if both remain same, your production cost is increased. So your outcome is contraction in margin. So I hope I was able to make this point clear. I'll repeat once again the two options what they have, and they can't do anything. They can't increase the price because there is inflation in the market and people won't buy. And then volume can't increase because they already inflation, and even if the price remains same, the volume won't increase. So best option right now for these companies are don't increase the price and expect people to keep buying the same quantity what they were buying. So in this case, the best thing that can happen to you is sales remain same, but due to production cost increase, the margin will reduce. When margin will reduce, the companies will make less profit. When profit is less, when earning per share reduces, that will reflect in the pricing of the share of each of these companies. Even if the company is good, even if the company is doing great, even if the sales number are not impacted, production cost, the margin will reduce. And this is going to happen. And this is going to happen for next 6 to 9 months because the price going up and the sanctions and everything happening with Russia and US and Ukraine war, because of which this it will take some time to bring the things back to normal pricing, and it will take that time for these companies, FMCG companies, start making money. And that's the reason why, even if the sector is good, there are other sectors where money can be made. Rather than putting that money here, we can put in those sectors for that period of time. And once things becomes normal for these companies, we can make the profit from that sector and we can invest back in these sectors if we have some stock at that point in time which looks lucrative. So this was my suggestion, my opinion. If you think it's helpful, please do like the video, comment your feedbacks, share with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe this channel if you are new to this. Thank you so much for watching. Stay happy, stay safe.